notes. That's today's I Minute.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Me too.
Did you do it by yourself, or we both did it? And I just totally forgot what we said.
I'm gonna have to listen and remember.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Industry Headlines. He's Kevin Kaufman. I'm Fred Weaver, and this is where we take a look at roughly the last week in the real estate and mortgage industry and bring you some of the top headlines so you don't have to read all that stuff. All right, so here we go.
Yeah, so Tweener, right? So Tweener offering a housing solution.
Is that like an age group?
Tweener, I thought
Tweener
it was.
Homes. Okay, I don't know. Like, anyway, so Tweener Homes, another essentially like kind of disruptor in the Phoenix area. We'll tell you more about that. Fathom Realty was in the news this week, as was the CFPB and debt to income ratios. So that's what we got for you here this week.
I feel like we talked about that before. All right, so Tweener, what the hell is a tweener, Fred?
Well, there's a gentleman that, and I don't recall his entire background, but from what I can see, I don't know that he has a ton of like background in real estate, but he recognized there was a growing need in the real estate market. Like if you sell a house and haven't located your new one yet, and you don't have the equity for a bridge loan and some of the other options that are out there, he recognized there was a need for sort of like temporary housing for that. So you're in between, or you've been, relocated to another part of the country and you don't want to live in one of those like long-term stays. So tweener housing is housing specifically built for people that are going to be there for a short period of time and are in between one residence and the unknown next residence.
Awkward term leases, we can call it that. Awkward term leases. Yeah. Actually, it's funny. A buddy of mine who sells real estate here in the Phoenix market, you know him, Steve. Him and I were talking about, he had just purchased a rental property, him and his wife did, and he found himself renting it for the first, I don't know how long, to a couple of his clients who were relocation clients, actually, who had like weird needs, like 2 months and 4 months and 7 months, just weird stays that you don't normally find in your, it's like too long for like the Airbnb, but it's not long. It's like not your regular rent either. So.
Yeah. In the case of tweener, I'll just end with this. The houses are fully furnished. So you walk in and you leave the house exactly as you found it and you walk out. So it's not moving stuff in and out. Like it's a tweener house. So anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting.
Generally like the extended stay hotel type of model,
but a little bit nicer. So I think we'll see more of this.
All right. So Fathom Realty IPO filing. And more importantly, it's not news necessarily, maybe it is to you, that Fathom was going to be going public, but
what is Fathom?
Fathom Realty is a flat fee virtual brokerage real estate.
I was asking that because I really don't know. So thanks for educating me.
So they've grown quite a bit, right? Yep. But the news with this is their S1 filing, which is what the document is that they've got to file with the Securities and Exchange Commission, right? So their losses have just continued to grow. Now their revenue is growing, but their losses, unfortunately, are starting to widen quite a bit. So that's a little bit of an issue. So they revealed like their losses for last year were up to 2.6 million, which it's funny. That doesn't sound like a big loss when you think about like tech companies, but this is a real estate company. It's a real estate brokerage that's built off a flat fee, low dollar cost to the agent. So there's not a lot of income really.
So many things I could say about that model, but apparently there are people there that are joining. However, they're not bringing in enough revenue to cover the expenses.
Yeah. So they're going public. Unfortunately for them, as their revenue increases, their losses are actually increasing too. So they're not, unfortunately, they're growing. Losses are growing at a bigger rate than their revenue is. So hopefully going public, I guess maybe is the answer for them. I don't know.
I'm not sure. All right. So lastly, this is more on the mortgage side of things, gets a little bit heavy for me and my taste, even though I have a mortgage background. But the CFPB is planning to eliminate debt to income requirements for QM lending rules. So first of all, you got to understand QM lending rules only apply to certain banks. Fannie and Freddie, as an example, are exceptions to that rule. So like B of A, Quicken, Wells Fargo, Caliber Home Loans, Mortgage Banker Association, all these people have been complaining to the National Fair Housing Alliance, and the National Fair Housing Alliance. They've been complaining to the CFPB like, hey, like let up on some of this DTI stuff, basically is what they've been saying. And apparently they're being heard. So I don't want to go out and say like there will be no consideration for if you can pay your debt back, because of course there's going to be you got to prove that you can pay your debt back.
Someone's not going to lend you money if you don't have the ability to repay.
But they're going to shift the rules, like this whole hard and fast with 43% DTIs and stuff like that. Seems like some of that stuff is potentially changing.
This is the scary part to me. Okay, I'm not saying this is bad or good. I'm not here to say that. And I think Quicken Loans isn't going to be in this part of my opinion. But I think of like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, companies like that, right? I think part of this is why they need to be more conservative than, say, a Quicken Loans, in my opinion,
Okay.
or just a straight mortgage bank, is because like they have our deposit money, right?
Right.
They're loaning based off of
You know what money they
deposit
also
money.
have? They have lots of government money that they never gave back from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, there's that.
I'm not bitter about that
Yeah.
still at all
So-
as a consumer.
But so that's my problem, right? That's my, or not my problem. Like that's my question. That's where I go, hold on a second, let's slow down. Is this good? I can see they're complaining, going, hey, I want to be able to offer loans to people with a slightly higher DTI so I can make more money. It is how they make money.
Correct.
We want to have a competitive landscape, and yet I don't know, when the rest of your money is built off of consumer deposits, like that's just scary to me. So I don't know what the hell this means.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't claim to be the foremost expert in this particular topic, but it's a big thing in the news right now. You've got the largest lenders, outside of the Fannie and Freddie, right? Like publicly facing guys that are saying, hey, like, let's make this more competitive. They feel it's unfair, right? So it'd be interesting to see what comes of this. Sounds like some rule changes are happening. What those will be, we'll see. Does it actually affect borrowers' ability to get stuff, or does it just create more banks that can, offer more comparable products to the masses?
We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I'd still like my bailout from 15 years ago. If you're listening, the United States federal government, you build out Countrywide, you build out B of A.
They're still busy stealing money from Fannie and Freddie.
Chase by EMC at a discount. Like, I'd like my money.
And Washington Mutual.
I'd like my money.
Gave it to them.
I don't know. Some of you guys are like, what are you guys talking about?
See you next week, guys.
Thanks for joining us for Industry Headlines.